Are you constantly fighting over the thermostat in your house? Well, today we are going to dive into a concept that might just bring some peace to your home and totally change how you think about comfort. We're talking about the zoned home. Okay, let's be honest for a second. Does this sound familiar? You're trying to work upstairs and it feels like a sauna, but then you go down to the living room and you need a blanket because it's an ice box. It's this never-ending, really frustrating battle. If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. This is the classic problem with what we call the one-size-fits-all home. But the good news is there's a much smarter way to do things, and we're going to get right into it. So what's the deal with this one-size-fits-all approach? Well, for decades, most houses were built with just one single thermostat, usually stuck in a central hallway somewhere. And here's the problem. If that hallway feels comfortable, the system just assumes its job is done. It completely ignores the fact that you might be freezing in the bedroom or sweating in the kitchen. I mean, think about this for a second. You don't have one light switch that turns on every single light in your entire house at the same time, right? That would be absolutely silly. So, why do we accept that for something as important as our comfort? So, what's the alternative? Well, it's time we start applying that same smart room-by-room logic to our home's climate control. And that, my friends, is a total game changer called zoned living. So what is zone living exactly? Put simply, it's a design philosophy. It's all about dividing your home into these distinct areas or zones that you can completely independently. We're talking temperature, sure, but also use and even sound. It's about your home finally adapting to you, instead of you having to adapt to your home. And this right here is the big payoff. Zoned living is basically the official peace treaty in the endless thermostat wars. It finally makes sure your home actually fits the way you live your life.
Okay, so how do we actually make this a reality? Well, it really boils down to two essential ingredients. Think of them as the yin and yang of home comfort, the mechanical side and the architectural side. Let's start with the first one, the mechanical pillar. This is the hidden engine of the whole operation, the powerful HVAC system working behind your walls. And then you have the second part, the architectural pillar. This is the blueprint, the actual physical layout of your home that you see and live in every single day. So, how does the mechanical stuff work? It's really all about smart airflow. You've got these motorized dampers inside your ducts that act like traffic cops, opening and closing to direct air only where it's needed. They're all controlled by a central brain, which gets signals from thermostats in each different zone. The result? You get precision comfort and way more efficiency. And this is how it all comes together so beautifully. Let's say the thermostat in your bedroom says, hey, it's getting a little warm in here. The brain gets that signal. It tells the little traffic cops to close off the airflow to the living room that's already perfectly cool, and instead open up the lane to your bedroom. Boom! The right amount of cool air is delivered exactly where it needs to go. It's simple, precise, and it just works. But here's the thing, a super smart HVAC system is only half the battle. To really unlock the full potential of zoned living, you need a smart floor plan that works with it. This is where the magic happens, where architecture and engineering team up to create the perfect living experience. So how do you create zones with just architecture? Well, it's about creating distinct areas for different activities. You might have a social zone for the kitchen, a quiet zone for the bedrooms, and maybe a flex zone for a gym or a playroom. Architects get pretty clever with this, using things like broken plan layouts, which is kind of the evolution of the open concept, using things like half walls or glass doors to give you a sense of openness while still controlling sound. They also use special materials for acoustic control and even visual cues, like a big timber beam, to signal that you're moving from one zone to another. And this quote just sums it up perfectly. The architecture, the physical stuff you can see, keeps the noise and the different activities separate. Meanwhile, the mechanical system, the hidden engine, is working quietly behind the scenes to keep each of those areas at the absolute perfect temperature. It's a complete, harmonious system. Okay, so the big question, is zoned living actually right for you? Is this just some fancy buzzword, or are there real, tangible benefits? Let's get into it, weigh the pros and cons, and even take a little peek into the future of home design. All right, let's break it down. As you can see, the upsides are pretty fantastic. You get more privacy, you finally end the thermostat wars, you get better acoustics, and you'll likely see lower energy bills over time. Now, on the other side of the coin, you're looking at a higher initial cost, and it does require a bit more thought in the design phase. But honestly, for a lot of people, the long-term savings and just the day-to-day comfort make it a total no-brainer.
Now for some really cool stuff. Remember we talked about using visual cues to signal a new zone? Well, designers are taking that idea and running with it, with a trend they're calling texture maxing. So instead of a wall, they're using different materials to define a space. Think about stepping off a sleek stone kitchen floor onto a warm plush rug in the living area. It's a really subtle but super effective way to create that sense of separation.
And in our hyper-connected world, we're also seeing the rise of what are being called analog spaces. This goes right back to that idea of functional zones. These are dedicated tech-free areas. No TV outlets, no smart speakers, places like a little reading nook or a conversation pit. They're designed specifically to help us unplug and just be. It's a simple idea, but pretty brilliant. And finally, for anyone who loves the best of both worlds, there's a trend called modern heritage. This is all about blending that classic, timeless design with totally modern tech. So you might see a beautiful, historic-looking timber beam that actually has smart climate sensors hidden inside. It's this incredible way to honor the past while fully embracing the future.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. Your home should be your sanctuary. It should support your life, not add stress to it. So take a look around your own place. What would your ideal zones be? Maybe it's time to start thinking about a home that really, truly works for you.